We're rolling, y'all. Welcome back to our hashtag Monday Menopause series. If you're new here, my name is Jenny Gaston, licensed professional counselor, and we are continuing to talk about menopause on our Monday series. And today I want to talk about FSH. It's an acronym that stands for follicle stimulating hormone. So grab something to drink, a notebook, your phone, because we're gonna get right to it. Take some notes. Now you might be wondering, okay, what does FSH has to do with menopause? Well, FSH is actually responsible for starting the change, right? Back in the day, that's what they used to call menopause, the change, or perimenopause. And so if you're wondering, am I experiencing perimenopause symptoms? I do have a video that lists the various symptoms, and I'll link it here somewhere. And each woman is different. Like, I was talking to one of my girlfriends who happened to be a spin instructor and personal trainer, and she mentioned that she has never experienced any hot flashes, and she's actually well into menopause during her transition. And so every woman is different, but it's important to know the symptoms. But let's go back to FSH. Now this hormone, I would call it perhaps fertility hormone, because it stimulates the release of our eggs from puberty to menopause. Okay, this is important because as we enter perimenopause, which typically happen in the mid 40s for most women, there is this erratic pattern that emerges with the FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, so much so that you may miss a period, or you may actually have a longer period and say, why is my period so much longer this month? It may be because that particular month you released 2 eggs. Okay, and this is why I always tell women, listen, I know you're experiencing perimenopause, but you are still fertile. Can I say that again to those in the back? You are still fertile. And so this is why many women in their 40s have twins. Yes. And so sometimes during this stage, right, when our bodies are changing, especially if you haven't had children yet and you want to have children, it can be a little daunting because research out here, and even when you go to the doctor, they frame it as geriatric pregnancy. But you can't always look at society and what society says about your body. You have to look at your own family history, because I don't know about y'all, but listen, my grandmoms on both sides, they just kept having children until they couldn't have children. Okay, so let me tell you that my mom has 9 siblings, so she's 1 in 10, and also my dad is 1 in 10. Okay, my parents are from Haiti. For those who don't know, I'm a Haitian American, and so yeah, you have to look at your family history, because don't just assume because you're in your 40s that fertility is going to be an issue for you. But let's jump back into FSH. Okay, FSH. Now, because this hormone fluctuates throughout perimenopause, you will find that this is the reason why many women will have hot flashes here and there, will experience brain fog at times, right? Because this hormone also affects our estrogen. Okay, our estrogen, also testosterone as well, and progesterone, right? We primarily focus on estrogen, but it's really a combination of those 3 hormones that we have working together, right? But the majority is estrogen, and that's why the focus is usually there. Now, just to recap for those who are new, what's the difference between perimenopause and menopause? Okay, perimenopause is the stage before menopause, is that transition. And you don't reach menopause until you haven't experienced a period for 12 months. Then you know, okay, now I'm in menopause. The age varies, okay? You can enter menopause anywhere from age 40 to 61. But the average age is about 51. Now, what happens to those who skip the perimenopause stage and go straight into menopause? You might be wondering, how is that possible? Well, sometimes menopause is induced, right? And before we go there, if you haven't done so already, support your girl, subscribe, hit that like button. That way you can be notified of any new videos. Yes, and I found out only 1/3 of my viewers subscribe to my channel. Come on now. Why you do that? Sakfela. Sakfesa. Okay? Support your girl. Now let's go back. You know, I'm gonna bust out some Haitian Creole every now and then. But let's go back to how can menopause be induced? You might be asking, well, if you have to go through chemotherapy or a hysterectomy, perhaps the removal of both of your ovaries. If you remove one ovary, not so the case, because our body knows how to adapt, and that one ovary will be working very hard to keep your body in balance. That's the beauty of our bodies, right? But for those women, it's really important for you to know how to alleviate those symptoms, because going straight into menopause like that can be tough, right? And so I do have a video on how to alleviate menopause symptoms naturally with herbs, with diet, right? But there are other ways to do so through medicine, okay? And that is called HRT. For those who don't know, that stands for hormone replacement therapy. All right, and listen, there are a lot of misconceptions about HRT. You know, it's not for everyone, but for many women, it's very helpful. In fact, HRT has been shown by research to be most effective in reducing not only hot flashes, but preventing osteoporosis. And so make sure to tune in, because the next video is going to be exactly on HRT, because like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there about that. And so my question to you, yes you, is how often are you talking about perimenopause and menopause? Right? We hang out with our girlfriends, and often, you know, we focus on talking about our partners or about our jobs or about our kids. But how often are you talking about this subject? Why do I ask? Because we're not having enough of these conversations. So not just with your peers, but consider with younger women, whether you have daughters, nieces, you're a mentor, right, in the community. We often talk to young women about, right, their sexuality, their periods, and so forth, but we just negate menopause. It's important to talk about the beginning, right? This is what happens when your body changes, but for every beginning, there's a natural end, and that's not necessarily a negative thing, but it becomes almost like a taboo because we don't talk about it, right? And so let's start having these conversations even with young women, so they know, okay, this is not a bad thing. Eventually my body is going to change, and it's natural. It's natural. And there are so many things that we can do to help alleviate the symptoms. This doesn't have to be like, you know, our dark years, okay? this could be a season where we thrive, right? But knowledge is power. And so if you haven't done so already, share this video with a friend, with a sister, with a cousin, colleague. This is how we're going to keep these conversations flowing, how we're going to break the stigma. More researching to be done in this area. And I believe that if we make noise about it, if we show interest, others will too. People will get the hint, like, wow. Doctors will get the hint. Okay, we need to do more in regards to education around this subject. And so that's my soapbox. I'll stop it there. If you're on Instagram, make sure to check me out at _Jenny Gaston. And as always, thank you for watching and much love.